TV, a broader perspective.
The agenda.
Giving the masses a grasp of informative, educative, and entertaining updates on current issues while guiding them to follow the latest development in the society. Beam TV, a broader perspective.
The nation's strength is built on ideas, innovations, and all of that. This is the agenda, bringing you fresh ideas, fresh conversation that will determine the present and also the future of our country. We do not just focus the mind on tomorrow, and tomorrow starts today. So on the agenda, we bring in issues that is biting the people. And on today's edition, we'll study the political atmosphere of the country. You know that Nigeria is tensed, although some persons are arguing that Nigeria is not tense. It's one of those things, one of those seasons that needs to happen. But well, there is no how something like this will happen. We are going to elect new leaders that tension will not be there. But before we unleash what we have in our package today, we'll go on a short break where we listen to reports and also feel the pulse of the people. And when we are back to the studio, we have vibrant youth that are going to dissect this issue that we have on our table today. So once again, you're welcome to the agenda on Beam Television. My name is Blessing Ambrose. We'll be right back.
Beam TV, a broader perspective.
Kingsley, should we see politics as a business or as a career?
Do you see us having a female governor?
Well, I cannot see us having a female governor when I do not see female aspirants.
The nation rises and falls on the strength of youth. But when it happens that you're faced with unemployment, you're faced with insecurities, you're faced with different challenges, the hiking food prices and all of that, it leaves you with a question. Is youth really contributing to nation's building? So in today's discussion, we want to look at the youth and nation building. And you cannot talk about nation building without pointing fingers to the government of the day. And we carefully selected youth leaders, people that are in the frontiers of youth leadership in the ruling party, that's the All Progressives Congress, to come in here and let us know where we are driving the youth of Nigeria to in this present situation that we are in the country. So we have here Yusuf Muhyiddin Ahmed, special analyst and an APC stalwart. You're welcome to the program.
Good morning, viewers. It will be an interesting session.
Yes, we look forward to that. All right, next to me is Honorable Benga Abraham, an aspirant House of Representatives. He just contested, awaiting results. You're welcome to the program.
It's my pleasure this morning being on this program.
How was the election?
We thank God and we really thank our party for carrying everybody along. And the result is how it used to be house. I think the party all the credit that people are clamoring for is internal politics. And by special people who believe in the leadership of our party, that all issues will be resolved.
So do you see yourself winning?
Why not? At least.
Everybody always sees it. He's yourself winning.
Yes,
even when you know that you didn't perform well.
We know for the nation to move forward, we must be inclusive in politics. And I'm coming from that angle.
Okay.
That's in my head.
Okay. Yes, we have a balancer today. So we have a lady in the studio today, Honorable Juliet Obinta, the Senior Special Advisor to
Assistant.
the Special. I'm promoting you, so claim it, my friend. A Senior Special Assistant to FPC National Chairman on Youth Mobilization. You're welcome, Juliet, to the program.
Oh, thank you so much, Miss or Mrs. Blessing.
Just stay with Blessing. Yes.
Thank
Leave
you.
the title.
Thank you so much. Blessing, it's nice to be here.
All right. So let's kickstart. As a leader, you are the SSA to the National chairman on youth mobilization. What does nation building mean to you as a leader?
Nation building is when we come together as a people to move our nation forward economically and contribute positively to the political participations, political engagements in our country. As youth, we have a lot of roles to play in national building and bringing in our individual skills. Some people are not blessed to have skills, some are educated. As a citizen, as a youth in a country, you are blessed and you have something to contribute to move your nation forward.
So let me come to Honorable Benga. Nigeria has one of the youngest population in the world. And I'm glad when you said that youth occupy the greatest population in the country and you are coming from that strength to contest. Having someone as young as you are in the House of Representatives is a good one, and the youth should be able to applaud you. So do you think that the country is maximizing this advantage?
I would say yes, because if you look at the way things here on Nigeria, our youth are really performing, being involved in a lot of things, in terms of development, in political aspect. If you look at most of the IT groups that are contributing to the development of Nigeria, they are aged between 18 to 35, and they are really performing and they are contributing their quota too.
Okay, so you'll say Nigeria is maximizing the advantage. All right, let me come to Yusuf. From what you have said, if we look at the country now, we notice that youth are complaining of unemployment. But I don't think it's only youth. Everybody's complaining of unemployment. And because they don't want to wait, they've gone into entrepreneurship, looking for one thing and the other to do. So the question is entrepreneurship enough to solve youth unemployment?
In the Nigerian space today, let's call spade a spade. I'm an APC stalwart. And in 2015, 2016, that Muhammad Buhari came on board as the APC presidential candidate and won the election. The refinery in Kaduna, who built the refinery in Port Harcourt as a minister, at what stage did he build this refinery? So as we keep on shifting the goalpost, the ability of you to come to the table continue to dwindle, and this is where we started getting into not being included in the scheme of decision making and the ability to drive project delivery from the youth perspective, because the youth look into the future. And we are not saying that the leaders or the agents cannot complement, but there's need for more youth inclusiveness in executive position where decisions are made because of the exuberant age and the ability to take on challenges.
I will come to you. Yes, youth play a good role in the development of any country, but we still realize that youth are being used when they want to be used, because during the politicking, during the campaigns and all of that, and after that, 1% out of 100% of youth are there on the decision table. What could be the challenge? What could be the limiting factor now that is still hindering youth in being involved in governance, not in politics?
One of the things that is limiting youth, the way some of us project ourselves. Some people project themselves as what we simply call data boys, data girls. So when you project yourself as someone you are just on social media attacking people, or you are on the streets, you are being known for your nuisance value, leaders won't, the politicians know what they are doing. You can only be good for this thing. You are not actually ready for governance. So what they will do is they will only call you when they need that kind of service, not for leadership position. But those youth who position themselves as leaders, they are being called upon to come take leadership positions and contribute to governance. Take for instance, we have a youth honorable minister of youth. I call him the youthful honorable minister, Because as a youth leader in his state Ondo, he positioned himself as a leader. That was why he was appointed the honorable minister. So I have an advice for the youth. Please, we're election period. Start positioning yourself as a leader so that leaders and those in politics or politicians or our leaders will start seeing that leadership potentials in you, and not you just being used as data boys or people guiding the streets or any other thing.
Okay, so are you saying that the youth preparedness or readiness to lead is close to zero or very little percentage?
Youth, we have youth consists about 60% of the population. That the people that opposition use most times, instead of them to look at what they can offer, the value, what they are bringing on the table, they are seeing them as people who constitute only nuisance most times. So that's why I said I left an advice, which is there should be more prepared and ready to take up leadership positions and not just only be used by politicians alone.
Okay, let me come to Honorable Benga. Some years ago, Yaga came up with Not Too Young to Run bill, and it was signed into law. And after that, should we say that that movement has translated into real political powers for the youth, or we've just left it behind? It was just something to be achieved that time, and then after achievement, there's no implementation. There's nothing we are using it for. We are back to status quo.
Because if you look at the population of the youth in governance now, it is very high. Unless you want to ourselves, a ministry was created, Ministry for Youth Development. A lot of young people get appointments. A lot of honorable members, their age is very small, 30, 35. This government, the APC government, let me use that word, really encouraging us of because if not because of that, if we bring the time of People Democratic Party or the past regime, they can't give us chance to even contest to of bread. They will absolutely it's not your turn. But now a lot of youth, because of the level we are operating in APC now, we can challenge as a youth, even can defend our consider against the president. That's at his age.
Okay. So Mr. Yusuf, are youth doing enough to inspire this generation? Yes, he has said that some youth are putting up themselves to be data boys and girls, hallelujah boys and girls, and all of that. From your own perspective, dealing with the youth, have they positioned themselves enough to inspire this generation? Or they are still singing, we are the leaders of tomorrow, which never come?
To participate in politics, you need some background, from finance to experience and exposure. You must have served and worked somewhere, and it's that experience you want to bring into politics. Now, many people who have not had experience, maybe as a civil servant, or have not done anything, just look at politics as a stopgap for them to perform. You have not run a business, you have not done anything, you just want to come and what do you want to offer? But if you have a system that, even if you cannot get into the mainstream civil service, the NDE is established to make sure that at least you have something to do, even if you don't get it. Now, what is the status of that NDE? Now, there are bodies like NDE, more than 10 of them, around all the ministries. The Ministry of Humanitarian, they have so many programs are supposed to prepare the youth. Even the Ministry of Communication, how are these programs being handled? These programs are supposed to be handled in a way that youth will acquire experience, and this experience they will bring to bear. So if you are treating, if you do not diagnose the symptoms that talk about a particular disease, you cannot give the curative solution to it. So it's all encompassing. We need to go deep, not lack of availability of talent, not lack of availability of experience, but how are we treating this issue? And they say idle hand is what? Is the devil's workshop. So there are so many aspects of our life. So how do you get the youth engaged? It's not about having political power, but when you have economic power, you dominate the space. When you dominate, you can dictate. So first thing first, youth must be empowered in all ramifications.
You cannot talk about nation building without talking about security. Because how can you build a nation that is not secure? Nobody wants to host his business here. Everybody are just jackbarring. We went on Vox Pop And to sample people's opinion about if they will have an offer, they will rather stay in Nigeria or most of them were processing their visa to move out. They said, I'm on my way out because this is not a country that we should stay. And if we look at what is happening now, the security threat in the country on an increase. And with that, it's like I said, this is a ruling party.
Yeah.
They tend not to be concerned about what is happening to the citizens. Everybody is focusing on the election. 2027 is coming up, so they have to put their acts together.
But I have privilege to have traveled out. There's nowhere like home. I have a lot of people that are there that say, come and stay with me. I said, no, this is where I belong. If the builder of Rome left it unbuilt, where will you run to? So if the people in England do not build England, let me tell you, I seem to like, because the population, the number, the size of some sector can accommodate the youth. Film industry, for instance, there was a time Nigerian film, up to now, I think it's the third largest in the world. Yes. And in terms of turning up actors that are of international repute, we are doing well in that area. Who is celebrating those youth? Who is giving them the impetus? We must deliberately expand. That's why now, if you go to the insecurity issue, on the weekend in England, youth troop into the stadium to enjoy themselves. Those playing and those watching, those entertaining. There are media people. There are a lot of work being done. Now, when you create a vacuum, they say the idle one is the devil's. This insecurity was born out of. Now we have universities. Do you know that from time more than 40, 20 years, there's no profession of university. If you want to go to university in Nigeria at that certain time, either you are without only 8 universities that people want to go. So we must deliberately, strategically expand this space to accommodate more youth. To have about 150 million people that can be categorized into the youth category.
Okay, so as we are preparing to wrap up this program, let me come to Juliet. One question and then I give you one. We wrap up the program. If you have the president here today, what would you demand for the Nigerian youth?
If I have the president's attention, I'll first of all start by appreciating him for all the things he has done for Nigerian youth, especially prioritizing education by reintroducing student loan. Not just that, just a few days ago, the Commission Education and True Tech Fund, Federal Government Commission education projects in different tertiary institutions in the country. Let me go to the education sector. I'll plead with Mr. President that we now have young professors, we now have youth who are professors. Youth should be allowed to participate and not just as lecturers in our universities, but be among the top officers in every campus. Just like the Office of the Dean Student Affairs, I will plead that every Dean Student Affairs will be a young female youth, and while that of the DVC will be...
is laughing at you.
I'm being honest. So in terms of other sectors, then in governance, I will make a request that 50%, we now have more youths who are showing interest in governance. Very soon now, by God's grace, I know that we are going to win that election in our local government, Ebonyi State. We have someone, Osborne Umahi, I know he's now up to 25. We'll be having a youngest local government council chairman from that axis. So I will ask, being a local government chairman at that age is commendable. So if it can be extended to...
Is it the president's duty to make someone a local government chairman?
No, I'm saying it should be passed, enabling environment. It should be, it's a request. If we make that request, it can be passed into law that local government chairman should be for people within this age range. We can't have someone up to 50 years being the council chairman. They should go and aspire for something like House of Rep, governor. I'm not saying that young persons shouldn't aspire for such. I equally ask the Mr. President The National Orientation Agency, they have a lot of work to do. There are a lot of opportunities in the country. But because people are not aware, they are now criticizing government. So the National Orientation Agency, I will ask Mr. President to bring in vibrant people so that all the youth will be aware of employment opportunities, all the upcoming policies. They will be aware of government policies, because some people are into business. They don't even know the policies that guide their businesses. They are just living. They are Nigerians that are just living their lives. So in summary, I'll ask Mr. President to please give youth equal representation and make it a law that 50% of the people in governance, especially at the grassroots, will be youth.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so for a final question for you. What should be the top 3 priorities for youth development in the next 5 years?
Let's see this country as the only country that can make us to be whatever we want to become. And we should be ready to contribute to development. There's no country without its own challenge, unless we want to develop. The Americans package themselves. And an average American, if you wake up and say, God bless America, are we telling me that America is problem free? No. We, the youth, when we are saying youth inclusive, youth involvement in governance, or we should have what we want to offer. We should be ready to give to the country. And they said, and there's one quote I used to quote when I was in university, that don't think of what the country can do for you, but think of what you can do for Nigeria. If you don't believe in Mr. President, if you don't believe in your governor, but please and please believe in Nigeria, then that's going to be great.
One sentence from you. If you have the ears of the president, what will you demand? What will you request for Nigerian youth?
My request to the president is youth should be strategically positioned. It's not lack of agencies or lack of ideas. Nigeria is a bank of ideas. I'll just bring NDE. NDE have about 9 other translators that serve the same purpose with NDE.
It was supposed to be a one statement.
Yeah, they're supposed to make the strategic involvement of youth in leadership.
Okay. Thank you.
Nigerian youth have what it takes. I've brought the music industry, I've brought the sports industry, we've conquered the world industry.
All right, so thank you, Mr. Yusuf Moyuden Ahmed, geospatial analyst, and also APC stalwart, for making out time to be on our program today. And I believe that you are not just there for just being there. You are there to make impact. You are there to change the narratives of what we know Nigerian youth to be. So, I'll leave with a closing note that a nation that neglects its youth risks its failure, but a nation that empowers its youth secures its destiny. So the question remains, are we building a nation we want, or we are inheriting the one we refuse to change? That's been the size of our package today. From your ends, from your corner, do one thing or the other that you see change. You help in nation's development, because it's not just for the Mr. President, it's not just for the youth leaders, it's for everyone. If this country is better, it will be to the beneficial, to the benefit of all Nigerians, whether in the country or in diaspora. So my name remains Blessing Ambrose, and that has been the agenda on Beam Television. Always make it a date with us on this program. We listen to your concerns, we listen to your opinion, we feel your pulse. So we do that on this program. So be part of it always.
Beam TV, a broader perspective.